Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to continue talking about how to build a strong brand as an artist. In the last video, I used the example of Pandora, and someone commented on YouTube saying, well, you were just talking about Pandora. And I was like, well, I thought it was a case study. And the whole point about case study is you learn something from a company and you learn from their success, their failures, and you can apply those tips and tricks onto your own career and make a successful business. And if I am asking 10 minutes from your daily life, I better tell you something that you don't know. And that's why I would like to continue using the case studies and going through different brands, and we can learn a few tips and tricks from them. The first example I want to show you is Christian Louboutin, the shoes with the red bottom. For those of you who love this brand, you probably know everything about it. For those of you who don't know anything about shoes, especially men who don't know about women's shoes, this is a very popular brand. You probably have seen celebrities walking down the red carpet in those shoes with the red bottom. That's Christian Louboutin shoes. Myself, I don't know anything about shoes. I had to Google the name, but I knew this brand. I knew the way it presents its shoes, and it's very, very popular, very iconic, and it's very stylish. The legend says Christian Louboutin, the French designer, invented the red bottom himself. One day he was working in his workshop and he saw an employee painting her nails red. And I don't know if it's a real story, because if I were the employee, I wouldn't be painting my nails red in front of my boss, but the story tells it like this. So he saw it and he asked for the nail polish and he wanted to try a few things, and he applied it to the bottom of the shoes, and it became immediately a hit in the market. And he was like, oh, that's cool, I would just use it as an identity for all my brands, and people would refer those shoes as the shoes with the red sole. Usually when you invest a lot of money, like $500,000 in a pair of shoes, you want it to go with most of your wardrobe. Otherwise, you have to reinvest in another pair of shoes to go with a different colored blazer or something. So usually people wouldn't risk to buy like a red shoes or like pink shoes or something. So they would just buy black. But black shoes are so generic, they're so boring. And that's why Christian painted it red. And now the pop of color is very fashionable, it's very stylish, and you can add color without having to add it onto the surface of the shoes. And that's very, very smart. What we could learn from Christian Louboutin, the brand, is that we can add something fashionable, a pop of color, something special onto your artworks without having to change your art. Because you are not changing the surface of the shoe, you're changing the bottom. You can just add maybe a different kind of frame, maybe something behind your art, maybe some things that you use to present your art, frame it or box it, package it in a certain way, without having to change your art. And the key is you have to make it in a way an average consumer could recognize right away. It shouldn't require a PhD to recognize what kind of things that you are doing, right? It has to be very, very obvious, like the red color in the bottom of the shoe. Like, it's not inside that people don't have to take off the shoes to show, like, look, I'm wearing Christian Louboutin. No, it's here. Like when you walk, it just shows naturally, and it's very eye-catching, it's very elegant, and it's very iconic. In order to build a successful, iconic artist brand, you need to be the Louboutin. You need to put that pop of something so that an average consumer could recognize on the first sight. The second example I want to use is Zara. It is a Spanish fast fashion brand. It is very trending among teenagers, young professionals. It is very economic, so if it breaks or if you damage it, it's not a big deal. And also that's why young people love it. They can afford such fashionable items to be at the edge of the fashion without having to break your wallet. So that's a very good, unique value proposition, I guess. And Zara changed the way fashion season works. How Zara did is every 4 to 6 weeks, every piece of garment in the store would change completely, and every 3 to 5 days, it would have new items in the store. So if you are a fan of Zara, you want to go and check every few days. So it gives you a good reason to enter the store again, although you just went there like last week. And also, if you see an item you like, you must buy it now. Because if you hesitate, the second day it can be gone. Because every few days it's changing and it will not come back. And it created a sense of urgency, a sense of scarcity for a cheap, fast fashion brand. This is very unique. This is very successful. And after Zara, many other brands, even like not so fast fashion, like very classic brands, changed also the way they work, and they are doing a lot of more seasons. For good or for bad, it's your judgment, but it revoluted the whole industry, and I would say for that, I give this credits to Zara. And you may say, wait a second, it's just a few more items in the store. How difficult is that? It's actually very difficult, because in order to do it so fast, you have to have manufacturers close to you, close to the consumer. You have to have a huge design team. You have to have your own channel for marketing, because you can't rely on monthly magazines. It's not fast enough. So you have to have a lot of new processes and new technological tools to be able to push your products and to deliver it. And the best part, or the worst part, is you have no margin for error. If you make a mistake, this batch of work will never meet the customer, because it's so fast, and everything has to be done super precise, super on time, and that's very, very demanding. It's a lot more difficult than you think. I'll give you an example. Now maybe you can make one piece of art a month. Now think about making 5 pieces of art a month. That's a lot of artworks, and maybe you can't make 5 pieces a month. And this requires you to change the way you work. And you can revamp your brand as an artist by creating this efficiency in your workflow. For example, you need a huge studio to put 5 works side by side, so you can paint it at once and dry them. You might need a personal assistant, or maybe 2. You might need a dedicated person to help you market your art, and you will need a lot of things. And once you reach that production capacity and efficiency, you'll be able to work with top galleries. You'll be able to sell your art to all over the world, because now you have more art to sell to more people. You see, you can use efficiency as a quality for your brand, so that you can completely change your brand image without having to change your art. The last example is a lesser known brand called Muji. It is a brand from Japan. It has also the things like Zara, like t-shirts and clothes, notebooks and household products. It is a very simple quality brand, minimalistic style. Muji, the brand itself, stands for without brands. It is a brand without brand. They don't spend in publicity, they don't spend in packaging, and they would reinvest all their money that would normally spend for communication. They would invest it in eco-friendliness, in their processes to make better material, better processes, so they are more efficient, more eco-friendly, and that is a huge thing today. And they started in the 80s when nobody else was eco-friendly, and now suddenly everybody's eco-friendly. So they were the pioneers truly in the 80s, and they invented the first iconic product was the U-shaped pasta. Is the cut out from the straight pasta, and they were able to provide same quality, cheaper, eco-friendly, and very, very unique. And people talk about this U-shaped pasta, and they don't have to spend anything for their marketing. They have free publicity from their loyal fans. So although they are lesser known than the 2 other brands in this video, but they have the most loyal community of fans, and I would say their density of the brand, the stickiness of the brand is stronger. And you may say, wait a second, it's a generic brand without packaging, without logo, without publicity. How do you build a strong brand having no brand? And I think this is a multifold. There are like many secret sauces, and the number one thing is their message. And because they focus on the eco-friendliness and they go all the way into the eco-friendliness, they would attract people with the similar goals in life, with similar lifestyle, and they would attract more and more people like that and build a very loyal community. So the message is the number one thing. The second thing is the identity of being a Japanese brand. I would say they are the beneficiary of the stereotyping of how Japanese brands should be. If you think about products or ideas from Japan, you think about minimalistic, you think about efficiency, you think about quality, and also this soft-spoken lady opposite to me who would tell you to throw 90% of things out of your household. Yes, that person. And you think about all of that, which is in line with the values of Muji as a brand. So the stereotyping of Japan as identity is in favor of Muji. If you are an artist and you want to build a strong brand and loyal community, first of all, you need to have messages, or at least one key message that you promote, such as animal rights, gender equality. It can be anything like environmental friendliness, and you have to really focus on that message and push it all the way through. The second thing you need to consider is how other people perceive you, because that's the 50% of your brand identity. Another 50% is how you promote your brand, how you tell people who you are. Then another half is how other people perceive you. That is, if not more important, equally important. Maybe you are from migrant parents, maybe you are from a visible minority group, and how other people would perceive you would go into what kind of brand you will be building. You can go against it, you can go along with it, like Muji did along with the Japanese minimalistic idea, but you cannot ignore it. In order to build a successful brand, you really need to work with people's expectations, such as stereotyping, and you can create synergies, or you can create disruption. I don't know if this is the right word for it. So you can rise activism to go against, or you can go all in for it like Muji did. So there are many ways to work with it depending on your example. Now you have heard Christian Louboutin, Zara, and Muji. Which one is your favorite brand? What messages are you trying to promote? What kind of brand image you want to present as an artist? Leave me a comment in the comment box below and let me know. I'm very curious about it. Hopefully this video is helpful, and I will be uploading more videos about how to build a strong brand. So don't forget to click like and subscribe, the bell button as well. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.